Lesson 95, Book 4, Stage 7. Bear, bore, born. Bear, bore, born. Very good. What's another verb we can use instead of the verb to carry? What's another verb we can use instead of the word to carry?
Another verb we can use instead of the verb to carry is to bear.
Very good. What's the paradigm of the verb to bear? What's the paradigm of the verb to bear?
The paradigm of the verb to bear is bear, bore, born.
Do you think you could bear somebody across a river on your back? Do you think you could bear somebody across the river on your back?
Yes, I think I could bear somebody across the river on my back.
Why?
Because I think I would be strong enough.
Very good. What kind of things can't you bear? What kind of things can't you bear?
The kind of things I can bear are such things as people who make too much noise or with dirty hands, etc.
Very good. Who was the last child your mother bore? Your brother, your sister, or you? Who was the last child your mother bore? Was it you, your brother, or your sister?
The last child my mother bore was my sister.
Very good. What's the greatest physical pain you've ever borne? What's the greatest physical pain you've ever borne?
The greatest physical pain I've ever borne was when I broke my arm.
And when was it?
That was when I was a child.
Very good. On, upon. On, upon. There is no difference between the words on and upon, except that the word on is much more common. Okay, so what's the difference between the words on and upon? What's the difference between the words on and upon?
There's no difference between the words on and upon, except the word on is much more common.
Very good. Whole, on the whole. Whole, on the whole. Could you eat a whole chicken? Could you eat a whole chicken?
Yes, I could eat a whole chicken.
Could you?
Yes.
Would you say that on the whole, life was better today than it was in the past? Would you say that on the whole, life was better today than in the past?
Yes, I would say that on the whole, life was better today than it was in the past.
Very good. As it's sometimes easy to confuse the difference in pronunciation between the words all and whole, in a dictation, it is well to remember that the word all is followed by the definite article, whilst the word whole is preceded by it. For example, we say all the chicken, but we say the whole chicken. So again, all the chicken, the whole chicken. So, how can we avoid making a mistake in a dictation by confusing the difference in pronunciation between the words all and whole? And give me an example, please.
We can avoid making a mistake by confusing the difference in pronunciation between the words all and whole by using the definite article. The word all is preceded by it, and an example, all the chicken, and we say, but we don't say that, but we say the whole chicken.
Very good. Possessive case for shops. In the sentence, I bought my suit from Simpson's, we understand that Simpson is the name of a shop. It is not necessary to use the word shop in such sentences. It is enough just to put an apostrophe, an S, after the name of the shop. Where did you buy your shoes from? Where did you buy your shoes from?
I bought my shoes from Simpson's.
Very good. Which shop did you get your watch? Which shop did you get your watch from?
I got my watch from Exeter's.
Yes, Account for, spend, face. Account for, spend, face. What does the verb to account for mean? What does the verb to account for mean?
The verb to account for means to explain the reason for.
Very good. How do we account for the fact that it's light during the day whilst it's dark during the night? How do we account for the fact that it's light during the day and it's dark during the night?
We account for the fact that it's light during the day while it's dark during the night by the fact that the Earth moves around the sun and turns round and round, and it does so for about half the 24 hours. One side of the Earth is facing the sun, whilst for the next half is away from the sun.
The sun, very good. Do governments usually have to account for all the money they spend? Do the governments usually have to account for all the money they spend?
Yes, governments usually have to account to the public for all the money they spend.
Race. Do you like to see two cars racing each other along the road? Do you like to watch two cars racing each other along the road?
Yes, I like to see two cars racing each other along the road.
Why?
Because it's entertaining.
Could you race me to the station and back without stopping? Could you race me from the to the station and back without stopping?
No, I couldn't race you to the station and back without stopping.
Very good. If you raced against a horse, who'd win? If you raced against a horse, who'd win?
If I raced against a horse, the horse would win.
Excellent. Northern, southern, eastern, western state. Northern, southern, eastern, western state. What are the adjectives of the nouns north, south, east and west? What are the adjectives of the nouns north, south, east and west?
The adjectives are northern, southern, eastern, western.
Very good. Name me a northern European country. Name me a northern European country, please.
Finland is a northern European country.
Tell me the name of a southern state in America. Tell me the name of a southern state in America.
The name of a southern state in America is Texas.
Excellent. Does the state in your country give free education? Does the state in your country give free education?
No, the state in my country doesn't give free education.
Do you think Eastern art is more beautiful than Western art? Do you think that Eastern art is more beautiful than Western art?
Yes, I think Eastern art is more beautiful than Western art.
Very good. Sign, draw from, or draw out of, check, religion. Sign, draw from, or draw out of, check, religion. When we draw money from the bank, what must we do before the bank will give us the money? When we draw money from the bank, what must we do before the bank will give us the money?
When we draw money from the bank, we must sign for the money on a piece of paper or a check before the bank will give us the money.
Very good. What sign am I making? What sign am I making?
You are making the sign that means come on or come here.
Very good. If man has rough skin on his hands, what is that probably a sign of? If a man has a rough skin on his hands, what is it probably a sign of?
If a man has a rough skin on his hands, it's probably a sign that he does physical work or that he works with his hands.
Very good. What is the sign of a Christian religion? What is the sign of a Christian religion?
The cross is the sign of a Christian religion.
Very good. Size, take. Size, take. What size socks do you take? What size socks do you take?
I take size 12 socks.
Very good. Violent. Do you think life is more violent these days than it was in the past? Do you think that life is more violent these days than it was in the past?
No, I don't think life is more violent now in these days than it was in the past.
Temple remains. Temple remains. Are there the remains of any old temples near where you live? Are there remains of any old temple near where you live?
No, there aren't the remains of any old temples near where I live.
Very good. Navy. Navy. Would you like to join the Navy? Would you like to join the Navy?
No, I wouldn't like to join the Navy.
Why not?
Because I don't think it's a job suitable for me.
Arch. Arch. Can you think of any famous arches in the world? Can you think of any famous arches in the world?
Yes, I can. There is Constantine's Arch in Rome.
Very good. Rock. Gibraltar Club. Rock. Gibraltar Club. Gibraltar.
Gibraltar.
What's the name of the piece of land which is really just a rock that we pass as we sail from the Atlantic Ocean into the Mediterranean Sea? What's the name of the piece of land which is really just a rock that we pass as we sail from the Atlantic Ocean into the Mediterranean Sea?
The name of that piece is the Rock of Gibraltar.
Very good. Thank you very much. End of lesson 95.